one or two pieces away, either which way, that can get a deal done. But at the end of the day, one of these teams has to meet that threshold to get something done. The NBA draft is about a week away, so could this go into the NBA draft? For sure. But I don't think the Suns wanted to. I don't think the other teams wanted to. You want to get those deals done. So my understanding is they're in active conversations with those three teams specifically.
Let's be very clear. The NBA draft is Wednesday, so they don't want it to get to that. And that means we're
305 UD? 305? No? Any comment? No comment. No comment, UD. Don't say anything.
Is he allowed to comment?
I don't know.
I'll be around. I'll be around.
Okay. Well, let me start with you, Jay, because of all your connections and all that kind of stuff with Kevin over the many years. Like, what is your sense of where Shams is giving us is certainly making it feel as though, no, he's accurately reporting that this thing is imminent.
Yes.
What are we hearing?
Well, first off, I think that the largest thought on the topic is that the value that the league signals for KD is not the value that KD and his team have for himself currently, right? And I think the market has kind of been a little bit dropped down, but okay, like, hey, this is the reality of what the KD trade value really is. So now you have the three teams that want to play in that realm. I still say I think Minnesota is the right fit for him because of how he can play alongside with Anthony Edwards. The reason why it's imminent, Greeny, you have to get this done now. This is the maximum value you're going to get for KD, and you cannot risk, for as much as KD likes to hoop in the offseason and work out, you cannot risk an injury. Because if there's an injury at the age of 37, his value then goes down. You have to trade him now. You have to.
I see you nodding along, Udonis. To whatever degree you are allowed to comment, what are your thoughts on this?
I definitely think, I agree with Jay Will. I think it's something that you want to get done early. You want to definitely get them in the locker room. You want to get them around your guys. And I look at all those different teams, and I look at what Houston was able to do last year, having the fourth-ranked defense. I look at, how far Minnesota was able to go the last couple of years, and also look at the locker room with the Miami Heat. And I'm honest, all of those situations could work. I think it's really going to come down to what Kevin Durant wants to do, and also what is the extension going to look like. You don't want to get him for just 1 year. You don't want to just gamble for 1 year. You want to put in a situation where you have a good 2-3 year window to win the championship. So all those young teams and all those teams have culture. All those teams have good coaching. So there's a situation where a guy like Kevin Durant, he just come in and be Kevin Durant and hoop, and doesn't have to have the pressure of being the leader and all those different things. He just beats Kevin Durant. He beats 50. He's 50 from the field, 40 from three, and 90 from the free throw line, and just be himself. Yeah, see, I'm stuttering a little bit because I don't want to talk too much about the Heat. I gotta be careful. I gotta tiptoe.
I hear you. No, listen, Keith, we did the essay the other day. There's only one player ever to average 25 points on 50-40 shooting for 3 consecutive seasons. That player is KD, and that streak is active. Like, it's the last 3 years. He is not slowing down. Reports of his demise have been greatly exaggerated. So with that thought in mind, Keith, what should happen here? What are you watching for on KD in the next day or two?
I'm just watching for where he go. If you ask me, well, first let me shout out my OG. Let me say what's up to my OG because I didn't get a chance to start off this segment. OG, what's the deal, man? How you doing?
I'm good to see you on this side, man. It's all right over here.
Yeah, it's all right. So secondly, I'm going with the Heat, man. I think, my personal opinion, right? Playing for Spoelstra, and this is not a knock on the other coaches that I've played for, but the little bit of games that I played there, it was the best brand of basketball that I could play, that I have played in my career, right? And I think KD goes over there, and he's going to be the scorer they need to get over the hump, right? Miami never really has the big name guys, other than obviously, 2011 and those years. They still make it work, right? And KD's going to go over there and fit into a culture that has a bunch of young guys playing hard. You go over there and make the trio of you, of him, Bam, and Tyler. And I think, being in the East is wide open. They can get something done over there.
The shamelessness of Udonis is not lost on any of us. Talent.
Is it tampering if you just do a thumbs up? I don't think so. Look, if you look at the 3 situations, it's really what does Kevin Durant want? Because the best situation to win and win big is Minnesota, especially pairing him up with Anthony Edwards. If you put him in Houston, he might be asked to be a leader. Is that really what you want to do? It's a very young team, although Ime Udoka and he have a great relationship, and they just took care of Udoka for long term. Miami is a very interesting one because, number one, you get back east. Is there an easier road to success in the Eastern Conference? And we all know these guys both talked about Heat culture and the difference it can make for a player at his age.
All right, so we'll see what winds up happening again. Shams making it feel as though this thing is imminent. In the meantime, I want to show you my favorite
Kevin Durant trade out there. We thought we had some traction this past weekend here. Durant still has not been traded. The NBA draft starts on Wednesday. It starts with Kevin Durant. Number 2, finding help for Giannis in Milwaukee in light of that Damian Lillard injury. What can Milwaukee do to go out and find players to complement Giannis Antetokounmpo? And certainly 3, the Lakers have been in the news this week with the ownership change. Can they go out and find a center for Luka Doncic here? So those are 3 of the many storylines we're going to see this offseason.
Superstar-laden storylines. You got Luka, you got Giannis, you got KD. Who could forget TJ out there in Indiana? Bobby Marks joining the program this morning.
You explain it.
I think none of those guys have ever been there before. If you look at that roster and you talk about what Alex Caruso was able to do, he did get a ring, but that was in the bubble. It's a different situation when you step into a road game on the road. And I've been in Indiana before, and I know what that crowd brings. So that's a very intimidating situation. And the OKC team has showed a lot of growth throughout this playoffs. They're well beyond their years with their maturity. But I think last night was the first time that we probably saw that sign of immaturity kind of creep in a little bit. And once again, the inexperience of being in the finals and on the road. Nobody has had that experience on that team in that locker room.
I'm going to tell you guys something. I was extremely disappointed in watching OKC last night. We're not matching the intensity of how Indiana came out in that game. Tyrese Halliburton, shout out to him for stepping up in the second quarter and really setting the tone for his team, even though at 14 points. But we talk about 21 turnovers, right? And that led to fast break points for Indiana. SGA did not play like the MVP last night. Nope. He did not. I get it, 21 points on 15 shots. That's 10 less field goal attempts that he's taken in this entire series, and 2 assists and 8 turnovers. So that was a very young team having a young moment. Yes. And for as much as everybody is like, hey, they always bounce back the game after they lose, we haven't been seeing them bounce back in a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. I'm worried about OKC. The door is open for Indy.
You should be. And can we now put the brakes on the Jordan Pippen comparisons and all that stuff, right? Like, this is a really young team, and they showed it in that game on the road in that type of environment. You had to know you were going to get the best punch. That second quarter, that really was the game, the second quarter. Then you come out in half, your coach makes an adjustment to your lineup, and it leads to nothing. So that team is in a lot of trouble. But it's not just on the court you're seeing it. You're seeing, to me, a master at work in Coach Rick Carlisle. And what he has done adjusting throughout this series, really throughout this playoffs. It's the 10th game they've won where they've been the underdog. They are always fighting against anyone believing in them, but he keeps making adjustments that the other team takes an entire game to figure out. This adjustment was the way they defended. They did not pick up 50 feet, 60 feet from the basket on SGA. They dropped 30 feet and said, we're going to get you on the other side now of the timeline, and we're going to mess up your offense. And that led to a lot of turnovers. That's one of them. But you know what else? Rick Carlisle has his bench players ready to go. Yeah. That Pacers bench played great. Not only TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, and what he's been doing in this game, coming into games. They're going to guys deep in the bench, and they're getting quality minutes. That's great coaching. And if the Pacers win, I'll say it again. If they win this championship, whoever wins MVP should hand the trophy to their coach because he's the MVP.
I don't disagree with the